Muslims jailed for forced conversion of Sikh girl in Pakistan. An anti-terrorism court, for those who are not familiar, we say terrorism when we refer to such acts like boom boom because of the YouTube algorithm. Okay. An anti-terrorism court in Pakistan sentenced 3 out of the 8 Muslims accused to imprisonment, along with a fine for the forced kidnapping, conversion, and marriage of a Sikh girl in 2019. The court sentenced Muhammad Ehsan to jail for 2 years. The other 2, Muhammad Salman and Muhammad Ahmed, were penalized with 6 months in prison and a fine of 10,000 rupees each. The case gained legal attention after Jagjit Kaur was forcibly taken from her home by Muhammad Ehsan and his family. They later forced Kaur to convert to Islam and marry Ehsan, changing her name from Jagjit Kaur to Ayesha. The matter gained global attention when the Sikh community demanded that Pakistan's Prime Minister Imran Khan honor his claim about the protection of minority communities in the country and ensure the return of Kaur to her family. The community also presented significant allegations regarding the forced conversion of minorities in Pakistan. So this is important news for a couple reasons. One, unfortunately, it is not very often that people are actually prosecuted for kidnapping and raping minority girls who are minors and forcing them to convert and forcing them into marriage. Second, I find this to be extremely important news given how light the sentencing was. Okay. The main accused his sentence is 2 years. 2 years for kidnapping and raping a child. Okay. The other people only got 6 months in jail who were accomplices or a fine. It's ludicrous. And this is good news. Because someone is actually being prosecuted and penalized for this. Oftentimes, those who are prosecuted are either the court validates the marriage or there's a lot of corruption that goes on. People are paid off or things are just settled out of court or not settled at all, because the victims and their families are threatened with violence and death if they continue to pursue these people legally. This is the good news, you guys. This is what we can expect as basically the best case of justice. And it's insane. To give some more context to this news, there's a little bit more that goes into this. So, our news writer pointed out to me that different news sources are reporting that the main accused is a different person. So just to be fully transparent, I'm going to give that information here. So of note, India.com, which is what I pulled in my main description, specifies that it was Muhammad Ehsan who was sentenced to 2 years. However, Clarion Indian News report differs, stating that it was Imran Krishti, who is Ehsan's older brother, that was the man who was sentenced to 2 years. So it's either this man or his brother. So that's just being transparent about our reporting. Another thing that went into this story, there was kind of 2 events that happened. There was the kidnapping and forced conversion and marriage, rape of this minority Sikh girl. Okay, and then there was also this event of the community vandalizing a Sikh place of worship. So several people were also found guilty of vandalism and inciting violence by assembling others to target and attack the Nankana Sahib Gurdwara, a Sikh place of worship. The other 5 accused were acquitted by the court. So what happened was that in many local Muslims gathered outside of this Sikh place of worship, and they started chanting slogans and maintaining that the Sikh community was using its influence to manipulate the situation, and that sorry, blah 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 blah. And so because of this, the many first information reports, police reports were filed against people for inciting others against the Sikh community, which resulted in spreading panic amongst the locals. And many of these people face terrorism charges, blasphemy charges following the attack on this Sikh place of worship. And I mean, it just goes to show how shit minorities are treated in Pakistan. And certain prime ministers really like to pretend like they like to accuse other people of Islamophobia, while minorities in their countries are treated like this.
And Rivka?
Just to echo some of what Susanna was saying about the way minorities are treated, and to your point that this is significant in the fact that someone is actually being prosecuted. Now, I share your opinion that the punishment hardly seems significant enough for such an act. But the fact that someone is being held accountable is good, regardless of whether we believe that they should be punished for a longer time or they should have a more extreme form of punishment. Because as you were saying, often either no charges, sometimes they charge the girls even. And that but this is an indication of someone who has a lot of support behind her as well, this young woman. Her family continuing to pressure for this, advocating for a lot of other things to change. So, I mean, I'm glad that she's, her situation's been solved, but it still is, kind of a trickle in the bucket of what needs to be done here and on a much grander scale.
I do want to mention that these are the real cases of forced conversions that India's BJP wishes they had, so that they could use as a way to go anti-Muslim even stronger. This is like these are the stuff that happens mostly in Pakistan, not in India. But India wants to make you believe, in this government, it wants to make you believe that this is happening in India a lot, as a way to go just go ethno-nationalists on everybody and create a two-tier system between Hindus and Muslims. But every time you do point out that this whole forced conversion and the love jihad conspiracy theories in India are just that, they're just conspiracy theories, they bring up stories like this as a way to prove you wrong. And basically they're using real victims, real examples of actual forced conversion and of real examples of rape as a way to come up with a story about something much bigger that is not real, as a way to push their political agenda, right? So highlight stories of Hindus and Sikh girls and boys, I don't know, if they do get kidnapped and raped and forced to convert to Islam, highlight them, but also be mindful of some far-right Hindu nationalists trying to use that story as a way to push their political agenda, right? So if you follow down that path of activism and want to highlight that, be careful to just only highlight legitimate sources and make sure that the story is credible, make sure that the news outlet that you're sharing that is highlighting a story like this is not somewhere like OP India, who's like they love stories like this as a way to sell their own political agenda. So just highlight these stories without being used by far right Hindus. Okay. Yes.
Lorian is saying you all have Western accents. I'm confused why you don't target these crimes where you can actually have some influence on your own home ground. Lorian, Armin literally has an Iranian accent.
No, Susie, she's a troll. She's a troll.
I know,
Stop
but it's
highlighting.
just like, come on. You think we
No,
we can also
don't
care about
highlight
other
her.
people and
No,
other.
she doesn't mean it. She just likes the attention. She's trying to find ways to trigger. She's useless. Forget it.
People
I thought she was.
are demanding Lorraine.
No, I mean it was funny a little. No, it was funny to begin with, but now she's like, now that she's addicted to attention, so now she's just trying to find things to say to get highlighted. It becomes boring after a while. And also subscribe to our newsletter, because if we get removed from all these platforms, at least we could reach out to you. And guys, by the way, if you subscribe to our newsletter, you get a free copy. Where's your copy, Susanna? Get it. We're doing promotion. You get a free. It's not even promotion. It's free. Okay, so if you subscribe to our newsletter, link in the description, you get a free copy of Why There's No God. Come on, like I'm handing it out for free. Okay, it's a bestseller on Amazon, and you get it for free. So subscribe to our newsletter, and you get a free copy of Why There's No God sent to you. Link in the description.